We've come to the final verses of chapter 2 in Philippians, and while these verses might seem like a travel update or a footnote, I promise they're not. These 5 verses are a window into what real, sacrificial ministry looks like, the kind of ministry that doesn't shout from a platform but bleeds in the background. Paul introduces us to a man named Epaphroditus, and in him, we see the same mindset of Christ we've been talking about. We see the slave mindset we first encountered all the way back in chapter 1, verse 1. Let's read Philippians 2, 25 through 30 together. But I considered it necessary to send you Epaphroditus, my brother, co-worker, and fellow soldier, as well as your messenger and minister to my need, since he has been longing for all of you and was distressed because you heard that he was sick. Indeed, he was so sick that he nearly died. However, God had mercy on him, and not only on him, but also on me, so that I would not have sorrow upon sorrow. For this reason, I am very eager to send him so that you may rejoice again when you see him, and I may be less anxious. Therefore, welcome him in the Lord with great joy, and hold people like him in honor, because he came close to death for the work of Christ, risking his life to make up what was lacking in your ministry to me. Let's unpack this. Paul opens with a list of 5 titles for Epaphroditus. Let's take them slowly. My brother, that's family language. They share life in Christ together. Co-worker, they labor side by side in the gospel. Fellow soldier, they suffer together, battle together. Your messenger, the Philippines had sent Epaphroditus to deliver their gifts to Paul. Minister to my need. That word minister is liturgos in Greek. It's where we get liturgy. This was not just running errands. It was sacred service. In these 5 words, Paul shows deep respect and also gives us a full picture of gospel ministry. Family, labor, warfare, mission, and worship. Epaphroditus embodies it all. Paul tells us that Epaphroditus got so sick on the journey that he almost died. Think about that. He almost died trying to deliver an offering and encouragement to Paul. We don't know the details. Maybe it was exhaustion. Travel was dangerous. Illness was common. But this man didn't stop. He risked everything. And here's where we come full circle. Back in Philippians chapter 1, verse 1, Paul called himself and Timothy doulos, slaves of Christ. And in 2 verse 5, he told us to adopt the mindset of Christ, who took on the form of a slave and humbled himself to the point of death. Now we see that same mindset in Epaphroditus. Quiet, humble, hidden, willing to lose his life for Christ and for others. That is the slave mindset in action. No applause, just sacrifice. What's beautiful here is that Epaphroditus wasn't distressed because he was sick. He was distressed because the Philippians were worried about him. That tells us a lot about his heart. His concern wasn't for himself. It was for the church. That's humility. That's others-focused. That's Christ-like. And then Paul says something that reminds us of his humanity. God had mercy on him and on me, so that I would not have sorrow upon sorrow. Even the Apostle Paul wasn't above grief. He loved deeply. He carried real burdens. This whole letter has been about joy, yes, but not fake joy. Not joy that ignores pain. It's a joy that lives right alongside sorrow. That's what gospel maturity looks like. It holds space for both. Paul ends this section with a command. Welcome him in the Lord with great joy and honor people like him. Why? Because he came close to death for the work of Christ. That phrase, came close to death, is vivid. The Greek implies someone gambling with their life. He risked it all. Why? To fill the gap, to serve, to deliver love. And Paul says, don't overlook people like that. Don't just honor the flashy or the eloquent. Honor the faithful, the ones who serve when no one's watching, the ones who love when it costs them something. Let's bring it home. Epaphroditus wasn't an apostle. He wasn't a teacher. He wasn't a miracle worker. He was a servant, a messenger, a brother, and Paul lifts him up as an example of Christ-like humility. So let me ask, are you willing to serve when it's inconvenient? Do you care more about people's faith or your own recognition? Who in your life is serving quietly and deserves honor? Maybe it's time to encourage them, to say thank you, to hold them in honor, just as Paul commands. From Philippians 1:1 to now, we've been watching this theme play out. Paul and Timothy, slaves of Christ. Christ himself, the one who took on the form of a slave. Timothy, caring for the church more than himself. And now Epaphroditus, risking everything to serve. This is what it means to follow Jesus. Not just to believe in him, but to live like him. This is the slave mindset, not in bondage, but in freedom through surrender. And it's what the church desperately needs today.